Hello guys, it's AB Styles and we're going to be breaking down gold and the opportunities that we had this past week to catch this beautiful bullish move. You can see that we are close to the drawn liquidity, which is an old high, a very old high right here, which I think is going to get taken out perhaps in the Asia session today, but that's not the bone of contention. What we're going to be focusing on right now is this bullish move, right? So we have been expecting bullishness ever since this happened, right? You can see that there's a sweep of liquidity right here, and there's a break of structure to match. Immediately price broke structure above here and went higher, right? We're expecting a retracement back into discount in order to catch the move going higher. And you can see that we got that. Price came down around here, had a little bit of sweep, but did fail to break below this low, right? In this case, this low is the last low to break. And something about gold that I've noticed, especially this last week, is that gold likes to come to the extreme. You can see the extreme of this zone, the extremes before it reacts, right? Catching, let's just say it's catching early buyers and people that get to the market early, right? You can see that it came down here. This 1 week came down, swept out everybody that entered here, those who had moved their stop losses. And you can see that price just continued breaking above. We broke once again above this high. This is another break of structure to show that, oh, we are actually bullish, right? And then price came back once again, retested this zone, fixed the move, came back again, swept out. Wow, gold is crazy, really. But then let's focus on what we have here, because this is the premise before the move, right? So now we have been preparing to be bullish from this zone, and you now had this clean order block. So this is an order block, and that is where price reacted from, and you can see that it was a very beautiful bullish move targeting these highs. However, this is the 4-hour time frame, and you need a big account, a very large account, in order for your stop loss to be accommodated within these fractal of price. So we usually drop down to the lower time frames to catch nice entries. So you can see that similar to what happened in the past, we have a sweep of equal lows, a break above these highs. That's a break of structure right now, and another block left behind. Price then came down back into discount and hit this other block right here. There's a fair value gap here as well. Price tapped it, retraced, and it was airways from then. So let's mark out Monday so we can talk about the opportunities on the lower time frame. So you can see that Monday went lower, tagged us into the other block, and then Tuesday was a reversal. Wednesday was a continuation, as well as the highest range or the largest range of the week. Thursday got to a peak, but Friday retraced back into the range, tapped into a 4-hour fair value gap, and skyrocketed once again during NFP. So let's mark out the 4-hour fair value gap so you guys can see it clearly. So you can see this is a 4-hour fair value gap right here, and that happened on Friday, right? So 4-hour fair value gap. So the price came back, tapped into it, and we flew up from there. So let's drop down to where we were on 4-hour. Now, you can see if you want to take entries here, there are a couple of opportunities to get in here if you are that kind of trader, but let's go to the 15-minute time frame and see if we can see anything nice. So, mind you, I was on the 1-minute time frame working this sheet, but I'm not going to drop down to the 1-minute time frame in this analysis, right? You can see after we tapped here on Monday, price reversed sharply, but this is the Asia session, nothing to do here. Price came down back into the range, right? Respected these levels, this other block, broke above, breaking the high again. So immediately price broke that high. We expect what? Bullishness, price to continue going higher. Market structure shift, right? We got to these highs, and then perhaps an OTE would have worked on Wednesday, right? With this entry here, you can see that there's a couple of rejections, weak rejections, and this we prioritize your entry. So from low to high, you can see that price came back, tapped into this zone, the OTE level. The safe point place to put your stop loss would have been this stop loss is crazy below these lows, right? And you can see that yes, we had a beautiful trade from this level. So that's the second trade. The first trade was here. I forgot to mark that out. Why is this stop loss so large and good? Ain't nobody trading that. So you can see this alone is an 8 arrow trade. If you are decided to hold it, right? God knows how many it is. If you want to say you want to hold for these highs, that would have been, let me say, 20 something arrow trade. Nothing impossible, but we don't do that here, right? So you can see that this bullishness continued. On Wednesday, we had the fair value gap right here, a 15-minute fair value gap. Price came, tapped it, and reversed. No clear entry per se, and it just continued. This is on that fair value gap right here that got respected. So this fair value gap price wicked it, broke, and continued going higher. Then Thursday, you can see that we had already formed this forward fair value gap on Thursday, and that is where we would have been waiting. So this is where I got burned a little because I got this entry. Okay, I initially got this entry. I was already in the market after that move, and I thought that it's going to just continue running, but it didn't. Even after breaking structure here, which theoretically, right, from a technical standpoint, is very valid that this other block should hold. But you know what, market makers and their shenanigans, right, swept me out, took out my stops as well as millions of other traders' stops, and then just continued rallying higher. So a classic. Let's take out this fair value gap right here. What is this? Let's take this out too. A classic accumulation, manipulation, and distribution pattern formed here, right? So you can see that this is an accumulation. After we had swept this low, right? Swept this low, then we accumulated, then we went below the accumulation, cleared it with this wick, right? Tapping into this favor, this other block right here. So this is another block. Tapped into the other block, then we broke structure above, right? Let's take this off now so we don't get confused. Broke structure above, came back into the range, a fair value gap right here, another block right here as well. These 4 candles are other blocks, and that serves as support. Price just continues riding higher, right? So amongst this time frame, there were still little pockets of spaces. You can see that this low swept out this other block and tapped into this fair value gap, broke structure. Price came back, tapped into this wick, and then continued rallying higher. Everything, opportunities are just everywhere. And before the NFP, which is this move right here, you can see that price actually swept out liquidity from these lows. These lows that had no wick, swept out the liquidity resting below this low and back into this fair value gap once more, broke structure above, and then we just consolidated until the end of the session. So that was basically all for the 15 minutes. Looking at the 5 minutes, it now becomes a bit, let's say, is a lot clearer. You can just catch little pockets of price action around here and there, but it's not something that I recommend because there's a lot of sweeps, stop hunts that can occur in the 5 minute time frame. So adding to this last attempt, right, this last opportunity with the accumulation, manipulation, and distribution, targeting these highs, that would have been 5 arrow. Right, so you'd have been out before the NFP news release, which caused that. So 3 opportunities, right, 2 in 1 day, and every other thing is just something you could have caught on the lower time frame. Overall, this week was beautiful. Okay, it was a beautiful week in the market. The fact that the market was trending one direction would have made it easy to trade. It would have also made it easy for you to lose on small retracements like this, right? Because the way I did, thinking of buying here and then I lost the trade right here and price continued, and just the usual, right? So it's a beautiful thing, really. We are yet to hit these highs. We are very close to it. I'll still call this the drawn liquidity, right? So I expect perhaps during the what's the session? Maybe the Asia session, Sunday Asia session. I expect price should take out these highs, maybe reacting from this level right here. So, like I said before, gold loves the extreme. So perhaps gets to this extreme, sweeping out the lows. I can already see equal lows in form of inducement. So these are equal lows right here. These two lows are equal lows. And price can just neatly take it out. Right? Take out the equal lows. Big pause above here. Go back once more, clear it, and then continue going until we take out these highs. Or you could fully reverse and leave that high, right? Who knows? But this is just the opportunity. I didn't really look at EUR USD because why? Why would I be doing that? Come on. This is beautiful, right? These were gems, beautiful opportunities right here. There was no need to look at EUR USD. And basically, it was a good week in the market overall. So we are going to be active for the next week and next session, whatever opportunities is going to be presented to us. So please leave a like, subscribe, and see you in the next video. Styles out.